everybody. So today I want to talk about your obedience to God and how important it is to obey God immediately. Okay, the first time you hear him tell you to do something, and let's just be real, y'all know when he's speaking to you about some things because you begin to feel what he's saying. You'll feel either convicted or you'll feel like an urgency, right? And so yesterday, God gave me some instructions in regards to my marriage. And so I have been very obedient. Okay, so some of you may or may not know that I am going through a divorce right now, but God gave me a promise to stand for my marriage, right? He gave me a promise that he will reconcile it. And I'm going to be honest, on this journey, I have wavered back and forth a bit. I have teetered with it. I've repented for it though, but it didn't look like it was going to ever be reconciled. So I was like, God, are you sure that this is what you're going to do? Because it doesn't look like it. But if I know the God that has always showed up for me, the God that has always been my friend, the God has always been my father, the God has always been my provider, then I know that he is not a liar. So if he said he's going to do something, then I believe every word. He's given me many promises, but this one in particular has been very challenging for someone that if you don't see it, that's why God teaches us how to walk by faith and not by sight. Because when you look at things in the natural, it look crazy. It look like it's not ever going to change. But God said he's going to do it. And so I really believe him. So yes, 2 days ago, I had felt this urgency to put my wedding ring back on. Now, mind y'all, I done took this thing off. I don't know how long ago, maybe a year ago. It might be less than a year. I can't remember, but I just know I took it off. I said to myself, well, if he don't want to be married, I'm not going to wear my ring. If he take his ring off, then I'm taking mine off too. I know that was petty, y'all. Now I know it was petty. But one thing about God, he does not play about covenants, okay? And he just does not play about it. And just like he loved me and he cares so deeply for me because I'm his daughter, I might be his favorite. Y'all might not be his favorite. But just because he loved me so much, he loved my husband too. That's his son. So he does not play. So I've been feeling this urgency to put it back on. Like every time I go in the drawer that it's in, God will say, put your ring back on. And I would just ignore him. So I was being disobedient. So I had to repent for being disobedient. And then I had to put the ring back on. So yeah, that is what I mean. When God speaks, you know it's him. You know it's him. Without a shadow of a doubt, you will know. Because he will not leave me alone. Every time I opened up the drawer, and I have to open up that drawer every day because my Vaseline sits in there. And so when I go in there to put the Vaseline on my feet, I see him every day. And I knew that he was telling me to do this, y'all, but I just kept on saying, I'm not putting it on. What is he going to think? Like, what is he going to think when he see it? Like, is he going to be like, oh, she trying to pressure me to stay married? And I was so worried about what my husband would think versus what God is telling me to do. And God was like, listen, you need to be obedient to me. I am your father. I'm the one that's fighting for you. And you need to be in this fight too. I gave you a promise. So you need to partner with me and stay on the right path. Get yourself together, get out of your head, get out of the world of what they may think and what he may think and all of that. I don't care about what any of them people think. If I'm telling you that you are still married, then you need to keep that ring on your finger. And so I was like, ouch, God, I hear you. I hear you. What else I need to do? I'm sorry. What else didn't I do? And I just was like, wow. So I went and put the ring back on my finger yesterday and my fingers were swollen. So when I went to try to take them back off, I was like, God, you are funny because I don't want to work out in my ring. So when I went to go take the rings off, they was hard to get off. And I just was cracking up to God. I said, God, you trying to make sure I keep these rings on my fingers. So I was able to get them off this morning. My fingers kind of swelling went down for whatever reason. And so I took them off to go work out. But then as soon as I got back home, he said, put them back on again. And I was like, okay, I hear you, God. So here we are. I'm being obedient. So this is for somebody. It doesn't matter what people think about you. You know, do you think Abraham cared about what people thought about him? He was moving everywhere God told him to go and move. And I know he was tired of moving and tired of going everywhere and, tired of people saying, well, when is the baby coming? I heard you said God gave you a promise. When is the baby coming? He probably was sick of all of that. He probably was tired, but he knew that the God he served was a true living God. And he knew that he needed to be obedient to God because he knew that God would come through on his promise. So I am back. I always was in the fight anyway, but now I am standing stronger and firmer than ever because God is fighting for me. He has my back. Do y'all hear me? And he got your back too. I don't care what it is that you're facing. I don't care what it looks like. Just be obedient to the word of God. Let me tell y'all, this standing stuff, standing for your marriage, standing for the restoration, reconciliation of your marriage, it is not an easy job, not by a long shot. There are days that I just want to give up. I want to walk away. I just want to say, God, this ain't it. I can just, I'm just going over here and get me, a new boyfriend. Other people do it. Why I can't do it? They get divorced all the time. But then I think about God knew what he was doing when he put us together. That is my husband. That's my spouse that God specifically made for me and that he specifically made me for him. And God knows what he's doing. He is working out all the details that I cannot see. And my job is to just simply trust him. And so that is where I am today. I'm completely surrendered. I surrendered the marriage. I surrendered my husband. And it doesn't matter what he may say, even when he see it, because he hasn't saw it yet. He might see it and be like, why you got that on? And I'm going to tell him simply because God told me to put it back on. And because I'm still married. So, man, and he was like, no, I'm not going to say that part. But I'm just going to say, I'm being obedient because I love God, y'all. Like, I don't just say it because it sounds good or because it's cliche, because people say, oh, I love God, and they don't really mean it. Like, I genuinely have a real relationship with God. And I'm mad at myself for even being disobedient this long because I know that God been told me to put this ring back on. And I was walking around, I might be holding up something, from just being disobedient, because disobedience, that's like witchcraft, that is not of God. God never wants us to hear him and blatantly ignore him because we in our feelings. We got to get out of our feelings and believe what God is saying and don't believe what we see, because the things of this world are temporary. That's what the Bible tells us. And so Proverbs 3:5 tells us to trust God with all of our heart and lean not to our own understanding. In all of our ways, acknowledge him and he will make our path straight. So that is what I'm standing on today, Proverbs 3:5. And it don't matter what people think. I know people going to be looking, like even the people that know what's happening right now, because y'all, he really filed divorce like in March. And we went to court in May and we go back in August. And here I am putting this ring back on. It don't make sense. But guess what? God told me not to lean to my own understanding. He told me to trust him with all my heart. He told me that he would make all my paths straight once I do that. But I got to trust him. And I do wholeheartedly. He's never stirred me wrong yet. He has never failed me. He's never left me nor forsaken me. And he got my back. He got my back like never before. So I'll put my trust in him all day. I'm not going to put my trust in a man. I'm not putting my trust in my husband to turn it around. It has to be God. God will draw him in and he will do what he said he's going to do. He didn't give me a promise that's a lie. He didn't change his mind. He doesn't change his mind like that. If he gave me a promise, just like all the other stories in the Bible where he gave them promises and he fulfilled them. God ain't like that. He's not like man. He's not fickle. He's true to his word, and he'll back it up every time. We just have to trust him. So I hope and pray that this encouraged somebody. Get back to being obedient. Get back to doing what God told you to do. You know what it is, because it's been pressing you. It's been urging you. It's been pressing you. It's been making you frustrated. And so you know what it is. You have to get back to being and doing what God has called you to do. So I love you guys so much. And I'll be back on here with another word very soon. Y'all take care.
I trust in you, Lord. No matter what I'm going through now.